The Basic Education Department announced yesterday that the Maths Paper 2 and the Physical Science Paper 2 Matric examinations will be rewritten across the country. Now, this comes after the papers were leaked hours before students were set to write the examinations. But the South African Democratic Teachers Union says it will challenge this ruling. For more on this, I'm joined by SADTU's Media Officer, Ms. Nomusa Cembi. Very good evening to you, ma'am, and thank you for your time this evening. Now, SADTU is saying that you are going to be taking this all the way to the courts. Why?
Yes, on Monday, we are going to apply for an urgent court interdict to interdict the department from going ahead with this decision. We feel it is not fair. We feel it is irrational because from the initial investigations, they show that only less than 200 learners had access to the paper. So so far, there isn't such major cheating to allow or to call for all the learners to write. Out of the 390,000 learners who wrote the exam, the investigations have found that only 195 had access to the paper. So we feel it is unfair for the learners, for all the learners, to be able to have to rewrite the paper.
Now, you'll remember, Ms. Cembi, the Minister of Basic Education saying because of social media, because of apps like WhatsApp, one cannot categorically state the number of people who might have had access to the paper beforehand. Is that not something that you consider as well, the fact that, social media and electronics basically gives access to a whole lot more people than one can actually count?
But it is the investigation that has been done by the department or the people that were assigned by the department that has found so far that there's such less than 200 learners who have. So on the basis of that investigation that was assigned or by the department, it has shown that less students have had access to the paper.
The minister, as she spoke yesterday, did mention the fact that Umalusi has said that they cannot uphold the integrity of the results for this year's matriculants should these papers still go unrewritten. How does that bode for you as the teachers' union, the fact that Umalusi would actually not accredit these exams?
We are still maintaining that this is very much unfair to the learners, to the teachers, because even what Malusi is basing this on facts that are not complete, because they have said themselves that so far fewer numbers of learners have had access to the paper. It's not for the first time that copying happens. You find that when copying happens, during the marking process, they will find that they will find that copying has happened during marking, and then those who have found that they've copied, then they will have to rewrite the exam. So there are many instances where one can find out whether copying has happened. They can still wait for the markers to mark, and then the markers will ascertain who has really copied, and then make those who have copied.
Ms. Cembi, before I let you go, is it better not to be safe than sorry? And could this extreme measure of calling for a national rewrite actually not deter future leakers from actually leaking out the papers because they understand that the repercussions would be dire? Would this not act as a deterrent, do you think?
But the people who are responsible for the leaking are not the learners. So it is the learners who are being punished for something that is not of their making.
So who is responsible for the leaking? I mean, our understanding is that the leaking is coming from some teachers.
No, from just this week, an employee of the printing company that was assigned by the department to print the papers appeared in court. So it has nothing to do with the teachers. It has nothing to do with the learners. It is the department. So we cannot vouch. It is the department that should strengthen its security measures. It has got nothing to do with the learners or the teachers.
Ms.
So
Cembi,
we feel that learners are being punished for something that is not of their making.
Ms. Cembi, we thank you very much for your time this evening. That's SADTU's Media Officer, Nomusa Cembi. On Monday, they will be making an urgent court application to have this decision overturned. We do know that Maths Paper 2 and Physical Science Paper 2 will have to be rewritten across the country for the first time. A national rewrite, almost 400,000 students